Welcome to the Great Detectives of Old Time Radio. From Boise, Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham. If you have a comment, email it to me, box13@greatdetectives.net. Follow us on Twitter at Radio Detectives and check us out on Instagram, instagram.com/Great Detectives. If you're enjoying the podcast, please follow us using your favorite podcast software. I do want to encourage you to check out our other feeds, and today I'm focusing on our new Volume 3 feed. This is a new feed that we've launched. We've had the Volume 1 and Volume 2 before. Volume 3 will see us posting Season 7 through 9, so you can listen to them just as they came out back between 2015 and 2018. And this will include programs such as Richard Diamond, Boston Blackie, Nightbeat, as well as the start of Mr. Keen Tracer of Lost Persons and Rocky Jordan. Of course, we'll be sharing all the specials, and you can find that all at volume3.greatdetectives.net. That's volume3.greatdetectives.net. Well, now let's get into this week's episode of Bulldog Drummond. And I'll warn you that this may be the worst audio quality we've had for this series, but it is still listenable. The original air date, May the 12th, 1948, and the title is The Island of Death.
Out of the fog, out of the night, and into his American adventures comes Bulldog Drummond. I sit here in the boat as it skims over the lake toward the mainland. Once again I turn to look back at the fire raging on the island. And I think of that flame-swept place as a funeral pyre. And now that it's finished, I think too of the strange adventure, how it began. Unlike the usual common events, the adventures I find myself in do not as a rule cast their shadows before me. This one, for example, had a nice beginning with the better. The begging stopped, and a moment later, Denny came into the library. Captain Drummond, the young lady is here. The young lady? What are you talking about, Denny? What young lady? You appear surprised, sir. Yes, I am. But she said we were expecting her. That, Denny, is news to me. What's her name? She wouldn't say. It is all rather strange. I wonder... Drummond, I'd like to speak to you. Oh. Well, now that you're here, suppose you begin. I suggest you start by offering your name.
Well, I'd like it to be confidential, if it's possible.
I assure you Denny's presence will in no way violate your desired confidence.
All right, Captain Drummond. I'm Helen Sanders.
I take it by that ring on your hand that it's Mrs. Sanders.
Yes, Mrs. Victor Sanders.
Go on.
Well, about my husband, Victor. That's what I came to see.
What about your husband?
He's jealous.
Well, that's not so unusual in the case where a wife is as attractive as you are.
He'd like to see me dead.
Oh, that's jealous, huh?
Yes, there's no basis for it. It's just his imagination. I was up at our place at Crystal Lake. There was an island out in the lake. And some of Victor's associates and friends came up for the weekend. Everything was going along all right, but then...
I suppose that Mr. Sanders raised some sort of fee. That's the usual thing.
No, Victor wasn't there. He was at the sanitarium.
Sanitarium?
Yes, my husband was confined to a mental hospital at Millbrook 6 months ago. Victor had a complete mental and nervous collapse. The doctor said it was severe paranoia or something like that. And recently she's become progressively worse. When I went to see him last Sunday, the attendant left the room for a while. When he's gone, Victor tried to kill me. He's like a mad animal. He tried to choke me. He said that I let him put away so I could get rid of him and could marry someone else. If he had pinned him until he come back in time, I think I would have been dead.
Well, I can well understand your being upset this way, Mrs. Sanders, but you don't seem to be in any apparent danger now. You don't need me. As long as your husband is confined to the sanitarium, you're perfectly safe.
Oh, that's just it, Captain Drummond. That's why I came right to you.
What do you mean?
While I was up at the island of Crystal Lake, I received a telephone call. It was Victor. He said he was in the sea.
Hey, how could he throw you in the sanitarium? I don't imagine there's a thousand...
After he hung up, I called to check. Victor escaped from the Millbrook Sanitarium tonight. That's all. There's another sharp turn just ahead.
You better slow down a bit more, Denny.
Yes, sir. Yeah, what a beastly night. How much farther now?
Well, it's about a mile to the lake from here.
You know, I still think, Captain Drummond, that Mrs. Sanders will be much safer back in town.
As long as we're with her, she'll be all right.
But you seem to be so sure that her husband is somewhere up here.
Quite sure.
Well, isn't that exposing her to unnecessary danger, sir?
It's also a sure way of capturing Sanders before he does any damage. It's the matter of Ralph Conway, Denny, Sanders' former partner. He's at the island. You remember Mrs. Sanders told us that her husband thinks she had him confined so she could eventually marry Conway.
But it's his imagination. That's part of his sickness.
I know, but to your husband, Mrs. Sanders, that twisted thought is a living reality.
Oh, well then you think he'll kill Ralph, too?
I think he might try. In view of everything you told me, I'm as concerned about Ralph Conway's safety as I am about yours.
Sir!
Denny, what's wrong? Why did you stop?
Look, sir. In the road ahead.
It's a man lying there. Well, he looks like...
Come on, Denny.
Yes, sir.
You wait here, Mrs. Sanders.
All right.
Captain Drummond, is he...
No, he's just unconscious. Here, have your pocket book.
Yes, sir.
Now, here's his wallet. George Lawson, Millbrook Sanitarium.
Millbrook Sanitarium?
Evidently about a uniform he's wearing. He's one of the sanitarium guards.
I say, look, he's coming too, sir.
Who are you? We were driving along and we found you here in the road.
He got away from me, I'm gonna find him. I got to.
I didn't tell you.
No, you don't understand.
On the contrary, I do understand. I took the liberty of looking through your identification, Lawson. You're from the Millbrook Sanitarium. You're here in these mountains to track down Victor Sanders.
Yeah, that's right, but how did you know?
Oh, Captain Drummond and I are here for the same reason.
Captain Drummond?
Yes, I'm working on Mrs. Sanders' behalf.
Well, then you know about him. You know all about Victor Sanders.
Yes.
I say, what happened to you, Lawson?
Well, we had an idea that Sanders would head to the island at Crystal Lake. And I drove up here to there, but as I came up the road, I saw somebody run across in front of my car. I was dead sure it was Sanders. He was wearing the white suit he took off the attendant he knocked out back at the sanitarium. Well, I stopped the car, and when I got out, I got it over the head. Then when I woke up, you two were here.
Must have been Sanders, sir.
Undoubtedly. I got to nab him before somebody gets hurt.
Oh, you won't get very far alone, Lawson.
What do you mean?
Your car is gone.
What?
Look yourself. Sign it.
Yeah, it's gone, all right.
We're on our way to the island in Crystal Lake. You're welcome to come along with us.
Well, that's the spot I was headed for anyway.
Well, let me give you a hand.
All right, then.
This is one Sanders. But now, then he may have reached the island by this time.
He may have.
Yes, and that means we may arrive there too late to save Ralph Conway.
You get in the back seat, Lawson.
Right.
Captain Drummond.
What is it, then?
Look, sir, in the front seat. She's not here. Mrs. Sanders is gone.
Ellen Sanders has disappeared. We searched the woods alongside the road, but not a sign of her anywhere. The darkness of the night and the heavy downpour finally forced us to give up. Then George Lawson, the sanitarium guard, and Denny and I got into the car and drove on to Crystal Lake. At a mooring, we hired a boat and nosed it out into the darkness toward the center of the lake. And then, through the windswept rain, we made out the faint glimmer of the lights of the island. There's the island ahead, Drummond. Yes. Denny? Yes, sir. They're coming to it. Yes, I see, sir. That red one over to the right must be the dock light.
Stay where you are. One move and I'll blow your head off. You're trespassing and you're not wanted.
Yes, then you're holding Madam Nicholas tighter.
Why did you come here?
We're looking for Victor Sanders. We believe
I
you're...
won't find Victor. He's free now. No one will ever find my son.
Say, sir, she's Sanders' mother.
Your daughter-in-law neglected to mention you, Mrs. Sanders.
Oh, so Helen called you in. No, it won't do her any good. She's schemed enough against my Victor. But now he's free. She can't hurt him anymore. And you won't find him. I'll see that you don't. I've seen that no one will ever find my boy. Get out of the boat. You're coming with me. And if you don't do as I say, I promise you I'll blow you both to pieces. Now, come on.
Denny and I stepped onto the wharf. As I got out of the boat, I saw Lawson huddled on the floor under the counter. Luckily, unseen by Victor Sanders' mother, he dropped down there at the right moment. With a shotgun at my back, Denny and I were escorted off the wharf and along a path that twisted in and out among the trees. As we made our way, I anxiously awaited the moment for Lawson to come along and save the situation. And then, the moment came.
I say, Captain Drummond, that was a shot, a gunshot.
It really was, Denny. And a lucky shot for us. Look around. Sanders' mother is no longer with us.
She's gone. But she was right behind us a moment ago.
Obviously, the shot frightened her off.
Don't understand. What is this all about?
Wait.
What now?
Look down the path.
The man. He's running toward us. Sir, it must be Lawson. Oh, now I get it. Lawson fired that shot.
No, Denny. That man coming this way isn't Lawson. Have your automatic rifle.
Yes, sir. You, Captain Drummond?
Yes, and I suggest you stand right where you are.
Unless, of course, you care to see how this gun I'm holding works. Oh, no, you don't understand.
That, my friend, is the understatement of the week.
My name is Conway, Ralph Conway.
Oh?
Helen told me she was getting your help. I've been waiting for you to come. I saw that crazy mother of Victor's take you away from the wharf. I was hiding in the bushes nearby. Then you fired that shot, Mr. Conway? No, it was Sanders. He did it. Was it here? He fired at me. I saw him through the trees. He was wearing a white suit.
A white suit, Denny. The one he took from the sanitarium attendant.
Sanders is on the island. Captain Drummond, you've got to stop him. You've got to stop him before he kills me. If you don't find Sanders, I'll never get off this island alive.
Conway led us to the main house on the island. In the huge pine-boarded living room, he sat in a chair opposite me, wringing his hands nervously.
Captain Drummond, I don't see what good all these questions will do. Don't you understand? If you don't get me off this island, I'll be killed by that madman.
You'll do all right, Conway. Denny is in the other room calling the police. Now, about the other guests who were here.
I told you they all left when they heard that Victor Sanders had escaped.
But you remained. Why?
Well, Helen said she was coming back. I was waiting for her to return with you. If I had known that Helen wasn't coming back...
Mrs. Sanders was on her way here with me.
What do you mean?
She disappeared.
What?
You see, we made a stop coming up the mountain road. Helen Sanders was in my car, but when I returned to the car, she was gone.
Victor, he did it. He got to her. And now he's here and I'm next. You've got to get me out of here. You've got to get me away from this island. Don't you see? I'm next.
I told you, Denny, calling...
The telephone line was dead. I checked outside. The wires have been cut. It was Victor. He's making sure I don't get out of here alive. Any sign of Lawson yet, sir?
None.
Wonder what happened to him.
He's probably scouting the island for Sanders.
Really, sir, this case has more disappearing acts than a magician's convention. First Helen Sanders, then her mother-in-law, Dow Lawson.
I have a fairly good idea where we can find Victor's mother.
Where, sir?
Conway here tells me that she has a small house on the other side of the island. She hasn't left this island for years.
Captain Drummond.
What's wrong?
Victor.
Come on, Denny. Conway, you stay right here.
What is it, sir?
Hurry. Let's get outside.
Oh, what happened?
Conway saw someone at the window. I got a glimpse just as he moved out of view. He was wearing a white suit.
Sanders.
Yes. Now watch yourself, Denny. He may be hiding in those bushes alongside of the house there. Come on, we'd better skirt around through these trees. Oh, hold it.
What is it, sir?
Look over there at the rear of the house.
I see him, sir. He's turning now.
Yes. Coming back this way. Stay low.
Get closer. What shall we do, sir?
I'm going to try a tackle. In case I miss, have the automatic.
It'll be ready in any case, sir.
Down, Denny.
It stopped.
Those shots came from behind us, Denny.
But Sanders...
Come on. Now, right ahead, where our last one Sanders came in close.
Yes, but if those shots came from behind us, who could have fired them? Sanders was in front of us. It couldn't be.
No, Denny, it wasn't Sanders.
Yeah, this gets more confounding every minute. We see Sanders, then those shots go off, and Sanders disappears like the others. What does it all mean, sir?
Well, there, Denny, is part of the answer.
Eh?
This body in the bushes over here.
I see a white suit, Captain Drummond. It's Sanders.
Yes, Denny, Sanders. And he's dead. Come on, Conway, this way out to the foyer. Sanders' body is there.
Oh, those shots, you killed him. You stopped him from getting to me. Oh, Captain Drummond, I owe you everything. You just name it. You can have anything you want.
You don't owe me a thing, Conway.
But you saved my life.
I didn't fire the shots that killed Sanders. Whatever debt you feel you may owe, it's certainly not to me.
So, Mr. Conway, your troubles are over.
So I was telling him, Denny, but he's hard to convict.
Well, he can see now for himself. There's the body of the proof in that chair over there.
Yo, Mr. Conway?
You fools! You stupid, idiotic fools!
What's wrong, Conway?
What's wrong? That body there. That isn't Sanders. That isn't Victor Sanders at all.
The dead man in the white suit wasn't Victor Sanders. Conway told him he'd never seen him before. He waited in the house a while, hoping Lawson would turn up, but Lawson didn't turn up. There was nothing left to do now but get Conway off the island as quickly as possible. He left the house and walked down the path toward the water. Well, you could stop worrying, Conway. There's the dock just ahead.
What about us, sir? Aren't we going to clear this matter up?
We are, Denny. We have a much better chance in the clear light of morning. We'll return here then.
Captain Drummond!
Sir!
That's Helen's voice. It is Mrs. Sanders. There she is coming up from the walk.
Oh, Helen! Helen!
Captain Drummond! Oh, Ralph!
Helen, you're all right.
Yes, Ralph, I'm all right.
Well, Mrs. Sanders, this is a surprise, but we thought that Victor had killed you.
How did you get here, Mrs. Sanders? I wandered over about 10 minutes ago, but I didn't expect to find you here.
Why not?
There weren't any boats tied up at the wall.
But we didn't off-road in the morning.
Then he must have taken yours just as he did mine.
What are you talking about?
After I tied my boat, I started up this side of the house. Then I heard the motor start up. I rushed back to the bracelet and ran to see the boat pull out into the darkness.
Oh, he trapped us here. We're caught. We'll never get off this island alive, onions. Mr. Conway is convinced that your husband is here, Mr. Sanders.
I know he's here.
And what makes you so sure?
The fact that you're here, Captain Drummond. He came over with you.
With me? What are you talking about?
I ran out on you before because I was afraid. When you left the car to help that man lying in the road, that's when it happened.
Go on. What happened?
When you lifted him up, I saw his face in the headlight beam. It was my husband, Victor Sanders.
No. So that's what happened.
Yes, Denny, it was a trick. The man in the white suit was Lawson. Sanders evidently knocked Lawson out and then took his clothes and identification. Then Lawson must have regained consciousness and come here to the island to track him down.
And that madman, Sanders, was in the boat with us.
Why, you were certainly fortunate, sir. Up to this point. But now we're sure Sanders is on this island, and it's at least 4 hours to dawn.
And I'm not waiting until dawn. I'm getting back to the mainland. I'm getting back if I have to swim it.
Conway, wait. Conway! Come on, Denny.
Conway. Sir, we've got to get him back to the house and see what we can do for him.
No, Denny, there's nothing anyone can do now. Conway's dead. The storm faded and died. The night was still. Then, through the trees, we saw the dawn rise slowly out the east. We all sighed a sigh of deep relief as the pearl-gray light grew brighter. I sent Denny down to the wharf to signal any early morning fishermen who might pass by. In the meantime, I was anxious to settle the main business at hand, murder.
The house Victor's mother lived in is just on the other side of this hill.
You're sure, Mrs. Sanders, you don't mind coming along?
I'll do anything to help Captain Drummond. But if you do get Victor, what will happen to him?
He'll get put away. Only this time in a state institution. He'll never bother you again.
It's just been terrible.
Well, with a bit of luck, it'll be over soon.
There's the house, Captain Drummond, at the bottom of the hill.
All right. You wait here, sir.
Please be careful, Captain Drummond.
I made my way down the hill carefully, shielding myself behind the trees and high bushes. I managed to get within about 20 yards of a small frame house. Then there was an open clearing. Dashed quickly across the unprotected opening and stood up close alongside the wall of the house. There was a window a foot or so away. I looked in, and there he was, sitting at a table. I worked my way around to the front door, waited a moment, then I grabbed the knob, turned it, door pushed in. There we are, Sanders. What? You so much as move a finger, this automatic goes off. Drummond. Stand up. Keep your hands out where I can see them, Sanders.
Sanders. What's the matter with you, Drummond? What do you call me Sanders for?
You can drop the act.
Now, look, I don't know where you get your ideas from. I'm being paid to track a guy down. I trailed him to this shack. I was just looking through some of the stuff laying around here. There, you can see.
Don't take another step, Sanders.
What's the matter with you? You're crazy?
No. But you are. Stark, raving mad.
Now, wait a minute. Let me explain, will you?
You won't have to explain anything, Victor.
Helen, Mrs. Sanders, I told you to wait up on the hill for me.
So you did, Captain Drummond. But I decided it was best for you to be here. Now, you'd better drop that gun.
What?
Unless you want me to fire mine into the back of your head.
Well, one of those things.
Yes, that's right. Now, drop it.
Nice work, Helen. You came in just in time.
I arranged it that way, Victor.
You're a smart girl, Helen.
You can give your mother a signal now.
Sure. Looks as if I walked into something unpleasant.
Yes, you did.
Well, it's all set, Helen. She got the signal. She's starting in.
Good. And the wind's blowing in just the right direction.
Hey, Drummond here looks sort of puzzled, doesn't he?
You put it mildly, Sanders.
Maybe I should let him in on it a little for all this trouble. Hey, Helen?
All right, Victor. Go ahead.
Now, look, Drummond, I'm no crazier than you are. Maybe just a little foxy, but not crazy. I put on an act to get into the Norfolk Sanitarium. There was a stock swindle I came close to getting caught in, and I figured if I was in a mental institution, they couldn't touch me. So I acted my way into one. Then while I'm away, Helen brings me the news that lousy double-crossing partner of mine, Conway, was trying to pull a fast one. So I had to get out and take care of him before he showed me down here.
And you took care of him.
Just like I'll do to anybody who stands in my way. Well, Carson was getting too close to my company, so he had to go too. That's right. And now you got the story, but you're not going to be able to tell it to anybody. When I signaled my mother out the window a minute ago, she started to fly the woods. My mother's kind of peculiar like that. She, like a kid, just loves to start flying. So pretty soon this whole island will be on fire, and you and that stooge of yours are going to be here to enjoy it. Ellen and I have a boat waiting for us in the cove back of the hill. And that's all there is to it. That right, hon?
No, Victor. No, there's more.
Oh, what's that?
Besides, I didn't tell you.
What are you talking about?
You're staying here with Drummond, Victor.
Oh?
Conway wasn't double-crossing you, Victor. He wasn't double-crossing you at all.
What?
I just told you that. So you stay out of that place and see Conway. That will put you both out of the way permanently. And as your dutiful wife, I fall heir to the business. And that's why I called Drummond in. So everything would look right.
But it didn't turn out that way, did it, Mrs. Sanders?
No, but this way will be just as well. I'll still get everything I planned for. I can see the fire's working its way down your fast, so I better get started. Victor, you'll be first. My loving husband will be the first of you to go. Oh!
Bobby, change your plan.
Oh!
Nice shooting, Denny. Oh, I say, it was just a shoulder wound. Don't be so regretful about it. The state will take up where you left off.
How did he get here?
It'll be a pleasure answering that one, Mrs. Sanders. You see, I was somewhat suspicious of you last night when you came to me for help. When I called the sanitarium to check on your husband's escape, they told me that he'd broken out at 9 o'clock. You were in my house at 10. It would have been physically impossible for you to get from Crystal Lake to my place in less than 2 hours. Therefore, you must have known in advance of your husband's plan to escape. That's about it, Mrs. Sanders. Now, let's get out of here before we're all broiled. I sit here in the boat as it skims over the lake toward the mainland. Once again, I turn to look back at the fire raging on the island. And I think of that flame-swept place as a funeral pyre. And I think, too, of this strange adventure which is just ended.
Welcome back. Another great twisting story that incorporates a lot of action into the mystery. And really, all of the adventure elements they put in this series is its true strength. I mean, they really do keep you on the run with this series, with a lot of really exciting scenes. It just does a really great job of making this a wonderful adventure mystery. Despite the poor sound quality. But again, other than that, it was a solid episode. Well, now let's go ahead and thank our Patreon supporter of the day. And I want to go ahead and thank Daniel. Daniel's been one of our Patreon supporters since October 2023, currently supporting the podcast at the Master Detective level of $15 or more per month. Thank you so much for your support, Daniel. And that will actually do it for today. If you're enjoying the podcast, please follow us using your favorite podcast software. And if you're following the podcast on YouTube, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and mark the notification bell. We'll be back next Tuesday with another episode of Bulldog Drummond, but join us back here tomorrow for Broadway's My Beat, where...
I don't know how to say this, Mrs. Brandeis.
Oh, say it, Dennis, say it.
Mrs. Brandeis, the plea for stay of execution. You see, the board that handles...
What, Dennis, say it.
The execution takes place Monday morning at 1 o'clock.
They're going to kill my son. Execute. That's the word they used for killing my son.
What can I say to you?
Say this. Tell them no, Denny. Tell them they can't do this. This execute. Tell them, Denny.
Mrs. Brandeis...
Tell them this is a notion they've got that my boy is a murderer. This board, these people who think such a thing, what do they know of Maury?
There's nothing I can do.
Maury didn't kill anyone. You tell them that, Denny.
If Maury was innocent, I'd tell them.
Oh, Denny, Denny. A mother who has looked into the heart of her son tells you this. Maury didn't do this thing. Her mother tells you this.
I hope you'll be with us then. In the meantime, send your comments to box13@greatdetectives.net. Follow us on Twitter at Radio Detectives and check us out on Instagram. Instagram.com/Great Detectives. From Boise, Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham, signing off.